Okay, so we're having a look now at, you got your book?
Yep.
Is it frequency?
Yes.
Frequency distribution, yeah. Yeah. Let's have a, have you got the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Yeah, this is fairly straightforward.
Did you update it on? Did you update?
No. All right, so. Frequency distribution. Okay. Now, there's nothing too complicated about this, but there are some things just to be aware of. So, by frequency we mean how many. So this happens when we have data that repeats itself. So an example would be physics grades. Physics grades or maths grades or whatever. So you'd have A, B, C, C, B, C, 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 B, D.
Not that many.
Yeah. So, I know, it's something like this. Great. But you notice that some of the grades repeat themselves. So we can put this conveniently in table form. So here we need to have A, B, C, D, and then U. So we need to count them. Now we can use something called a tally to help us count. Does anybody know the meaning of this word? Yeah. Yeah. Now tally can be used as a verb, as a noun, and as an adjective. So as a verb, what does it mean? To count, basically, yeah. And as a noun? Yeah, that count. Yeah. So for example, here, let's just put them down the side. A, B, C, D, U. So maybe I should put in, yeah, A, we go 1, B, 1, 2, 3, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. D, 1, U, 1. This is called a tally. In fact, it is different in different countries. In most countries, a tally looks like this. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
In China, it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in Brazil, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is different in different countries, but here we use this. Nigeria is probably this. South Korea is this one, is it? Yeah? First one and first one for you. This is what we use here. So tally can, if I say tally this, it means to make this tally.
Okay.
Now I also said it can be used as an adjective. Can anyone give me an example maybe of it being used as an adjective? Well actually here's one example here. This would be a tally system. Yeah? Does anybody know what a tally man?
Like pencil.
No.
The make they count like when they hang the man.
That's what he said. No, not to do with hangman.
The person who counts the tally.
Yes, the person who counts the person who tallies. That wasn't difficult to work out. A person who tallies. So anyways, how many A's do we have? 1, B's 3, C 5, D 1 and D U. So this is called the data. So we'll call this one X usually. And this one, what do you think these are called? No?
Frequency.
Very good. Frequency. So this we'll call it F then. Yeah? For frequency. Okay. So that's something like grades, for example. Let me give you some data. There's different types of data to look at. So just really quick, I want you just to make a table for me. We can call this a frequency table or a frequency distribution. Frequency table, I think, is the clearest name. So let me give you some data here. This is going to be eye color. I'm sorry, do you need to write anything down from this one? The vocabulary, you got it? So let's say some eye color. So we'll have blue, blue, brown, blue, brown. Oh, there has to be one green. Brown, brown, brown. That's of Asian students.
Black.
Blue,
Black.
green.
How about black?
Black? Who's black? Somebody. Nobody's black eyes, are they?
Black.
Black. Black eyes. Black eyes. Nobody has black eyes.
No. Black? No.
No.
Maybe dark brown. All right. No, I don't.
No, there's no black.
No. We'll just leave it like that. Okay. So I want you, as tally men, to tally and make me a tally and a frequency table. It should only take you a minute.
Oh,
What do you think? The thing that's on the board.
no, like, who are the people who study?
No, the eye colours are to be tallied.
Oh, everybody is.
No. Tally those eye colours on the board. Thank you. Goodness, you make it difficult and it doesn't need to be difficult. Yeah. Let's have a look. So, blue, brown, green. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes? Brown, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And green?
One.
1. Pretty straightforward, yeah? Okay, now let's make it a little bit more difficult. So, let me just clear this. And let's put in people's height in centimeters. So let's say 150, 152, 160, 161, 159, 158, 153, 152, 5, 166, 169, 164, 170, 166, 165, 171, 172, I want to have a 20, 180, let's make a super tall person, 179, 170, 170,
150.
Oh yeah, okay, we'll make it small, 150 then, yeah. Right, now we can't, I'm going to have to shrink it down, but we can't quite see. Do you know what I'll do? I'll copy the bottom half up
Yeah.
and put it just side by side. Okay.
Now I need to make it
Hold on, I'm getting to it. That's plenty big. Right, so here's our data, height in centimeters, and it continues here. Okay, I want you to write that down, but don't make the table yet, just write it down. Actually, I don't really need the writing pad for this. Yeah? You got this? Right. Why should I not put this in a frequency table?
Because it's stupid, very long frequency.
There's only one thing to do.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous because there aren't anything really repeating.
Yeah.
So if you were to make a frequency table, it'd be ridiculously long, which defeats the purpose of a frequency table. A frequency table is to kind of compactly summarize the data without losing too much information. So we can't really put into a frequency table, but we can change the table a little bit to make it more suitable.
You can make it like a, like
Yeah.
one here to here.
Yeah, we can do them in, like, as you said, gaps. So you can say the first bin box can be, A to B, and then the second box can be B to C or whatever. So the question now is, if we want to make a table like this, how many boxes should we have?
4, 5.
Yeah, but this is the thing. There's no. Are we listening? You have a look about you that you're not listening. Is everybody listening?
Yeah.
So as you said, 4 or 5, but there's no rule to say how many. And if you had more data, then you'll need more boxes. So there is a rough rule of thumb, a guideline. What you do is you count how many data points you have. So how many do we have here? 20. So n equals 20. Okay. Then what you do is you take the square root of n. So that would be square root of 20. Yes? And then you round up. Always up. And here we get up 5.
Oh no.
How's that done?
Oh my goodness, what word is this here?
Round it up.
Round up. So I'm telling you, round this up to 5, not down to 4.
But
But what?
It's gonna be 4.5. Then it's gonna be 5.
Just do what I'm telling you to do. The rule is, the guideline is, you square root and then you always round up. You can't have 4.5 boxes. So you have to choose
No, that's what it said. It's gonna be 5, not be 4.
It's going to be 5?
Yeah.
Yes, I know this.
Well,
He
he's
doesn't know
saying,
this.
I'm
So,
saying to him.
round up to 5. What's wrong?
when carry 4 cannot be carried to make it 5.
No, you're not listening. I didn't say rounded. If I said rounded, this would become 4. I said always round up. Listen, please. So round up to 5. So this means we need to have 5 boxes. So that's good. We know how many boxes we have. So let's put the boxes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now where's the option to give a nice kind of border? Yeah, border style. Come on. Let's try that again. Right. Borders.
What is it?
I'm trying to put.
It's not, no, you need a, like a, you know, there's border option on the other side.
Yeah, here it is here. Border style.
What's not coming?
I don't know, because it's a piece of junk.
Piece of junk. That's the last
The
piece of
the
junk.
program's a piece of junk.
The
The
last
program's
piece of junk.
a piece of
Last-
junk.
You said it finally.
No. Well, even if it's a piece of junk, it works hard, and I respect that. Right.
Just go there on the.
No, it's not. We thought it was. Okay. We'll just have to use our imagination. There's no other button here for border, is there?
So your doctor have got good imagination.
There's no. It's supposed to be.
Styles and format? Okay. We'll just leave it. I can do this, but I don't like doing this because it looks ugly. Because then the lines are gone. Well, no, we won't do that. Alright, so we need to have 5 boxes. So then we need to know how wide each box needs to be. Okay? So to do that, we need to know what the biggest number is and what the smallest number is. So what is the maximum here?
180.
Yeah, well, is it 180? I can grab it here. Yeah, it's 180, good. And the minimum? 150, that person at the middle there. Yeah. Alright, so what is the total width? It would be 180 minus 150. So it's 30. Oh, sorry. Well, we have a word for total width. Although I don't think I've done it yet with you. We call it the range. From the maximum to the minimum. So, how wide, we call it the class width. That's how wide each box needs to be. How can I work that out?
We divide it by 2.
No?
We divide it by 0.5.
No.
We
So
divide
that's
something. We divide something.
Well, of course. Just think. Stop shouting off and just think.
Range divided by 5.
Range divided by 5. Almost, not quite this. Yeah. So each box should be 100. I'll write the formula down. It's the range divided by not not 5, but 4.
How about 4?
Not 4. The reason I'm using 4, you should divide it by one less than this number. So it's going to be 30 divided by 4. Now the reason for this, it will make nicer boxes, and the other reason is it means you will never have a situation where you start at the smallest and end at the biggest. I don't like this in tables. We should start a little bit before the smallest number, and our table should finish a little bit after the biggest number. If you have 5 here, then you would go up in 30 divided by 5. 30 divided by 5, 6. If you go up in 6s, you'll start at 150 and you'll finish at 180. And I don't like starting right at the minimum and ending right at the maximum. I want a little bit of a gap, half a width either side.
You
So-
don't like it of the course?
I like it, and I'm trying. What I'm doing here is trying to recreate what a computer program would do as well, if a computer program did this. So we need to know what the width divided by 2 is. So that would be this number divided by 2. So that's 3.75. Now we can make the table. So our table starts. Now. It'd be much easier if I can delete these. So once you have these, let me know, because I need to delete them to make space. You have it? Yeah. So we should start at the minimum minus half the width. So we start here and then we go up in 7.5s.
That's from the minimum minus what?
Minimum plus this half the width.
Okay.
Sorry, no, I misspoke. Apologies. Minus half the width, not plus. Okay, so our first table would start at 146.25. Now maybe you don't want to use 0.25. It doesn't matter. We'll just put it in. So 146.25 plus 3.75. Yes, what's wrong?
No, like, that is, you need to, like, put in the and to.
No, this is enough to start. And how big is each class? 7.5. So if I add 7.5 to this, I finish at 153.75.
But
Yeah?
you increase the range.
What?
You increase the range, right?
What do you mean by increase the range?
Because the range was 30, but now you're adding more, 3.75, so it's like 33.75.
Yes, correct.
So it's not gonna be 5 windows.
Let's see what happens. So the next one would be 153.75 to plus 7.5 to 161.25. Now I just want to squish this out of the way. Okay, the next one will be 161.25 to 168.75.
I'll just,
The next one will be 168.75 to 176.25. Let me just make a bit more space, squish these together.
you can make them smaller.
I can make these numbers smaller? Okay, maybe I'll do that.
When we should stop? Do we get 180?
Until we can cover all the data. The last one, I think, is going to be 176.25 to 183.75. Let me just shrink this down a bit. 10 bold. Oops. Okay. We just about can fit it all in. There we go. So, Fahad, 5 boxes as promised. I didn't lie to you. So, what's nice about these 5 boxes is there's no question whatsoever where the points go. They clearly fall in one of these boxes. So, for example, this first one, 150, which box will that be in? First, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Can we know the table first?
But one sec, just tell me this, 150 goes into the first box.
Yeah.
152, first box. 160, second box, and so on. So what I want you to do for me now is to count, well, once you draw this, count and put the frequencies in the table down here. Let me just move this a little bit.
So now what is the frequency here?
I want a little bit of a visual gap. Look, I don't know. I'm just doing stuff, okay? I can shrink this down, can't I? And I can shrink this down a little bit. Right, okay, there we go. We have to put them in. We have to count them. So just write this table down. So this table here is the heights, and then here would be the frequencies.
Should we do the title or should we just have number?
What do you mean?
Yes, we should just have
Oh no, you mean the brackets?
no, that the F.
Oh no, the number.
Just number.
Do you need the number or the frequency?
That's the same thing.
No, these numbers or the frequency?
Oh, the frequencies.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's look at the first one. How many are between 146 and 153? So
3, 4.
actually maybe I can actually do a fancy pants thing. Conditional formatting. Condition. Okay. What's the first box? 146 to
2.5.
to what?
To 153.
153.75.
If you're doing that, that's not 46.25.
So you see my program, I got it to highlight all those numbers that fit that condition. How many numbers were highlighted? 3. 150, 152, 153, no 4.
4.
4. So here should be 4. Okay. Let's check now the next one. So we want the next one is 153.75 to, what's the next box?
163.
What is it, Yami?
151.
Yeah, point
25.
25. So how many numbers fall between those? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 again, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you see that? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers for this class. Right, let's do it again, the next one. 161.25 to 168.75. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes?
Yes, 4.
4, okay. The next one is 168.75 to...
176.25.
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers for that one. And lastly, $176.25 to
183.75.
there are 2 numbers. So this is the frequency table. We can check that it's right because the total here should be what? How many frequency? It should be 20, shouldn't it? So if I just add these all up to confirm, I do get 20. So I do have all my points in table form. So this is the frequency table. Let's sharpen
This
it.
formulas too, right?
Huh?
This formulas in this chapter.
What formulas?
What's your question? Do you have a question?
No.
Okay.
Right, do you have this now? So this is the frequency table for data that's not really repeated. Okay? Now, often it's important to know, and we'll see this in a later class why, it's important to know what the middle value is for each class. So the middle, how would you get the middle of 146.25 and 1? Yeah, but now give me the full sentence. 6.25 plus
153.75
divided by 2. So the middle value here is 150. And here the middle would be 153.75 plus 161.25 divided by 2. 157.5. And then the next one would be 165, 172.5 and 180. These are called the midpoints. Midpoint. Okay? Right. Now, just so you know a little bit more vocabulary, these are called the boundaries. Class boundaries, yeah. 146.25 is called the lower boundary, and 153.75 is called the upper boundary. For example, what's the upper boundary here? For this one? 176.25. What's the lower boundary here? 153.75. Okay. You get the idea? Yeah. Sometimes also they would like you to include on the table not just the midpoint but also the percentage. So for example, how many points do we have in total? 20. If you have 4 out of 20, what percent is that?
4 out of 4.
4 out of 20.
100.
Just give me the answer.
8.
No?
No, it's
No, don't use your
20.
calculator. Put the calculator
20%.
down. 20%. Yes.
There's no calculator.
There's no need for a calculator. 5 out of 20, 25%. 4 out of 20, 20%. Here, 25%.
10%.
And this one here, 10%. Yes? These are called the percentages or relative frequencies.
Did you get that?
Correct. 4 out of 20 as a percentage.
Right.
Yes. 5 out of 20 for the next one.
So did you the word you use?
Relative frequency.
What?
So this one is still a frequency table, but we call it a grouped frequency table. Because you know in English, grouped, you can use it as a verb to mean to put together into groups. So we could call this a grouped frequency table. Did you hear that? What's it called, KJ? Good. Okay, now there can be a small problem with group frequency table. Let me give you an example if I go to a new tab. So have a look at this frequency table. It could be heights of something as well. So the first one is 0 to 9 centimeters, 10 to 19 centimeters, 20 to 39 centimeters, 40 to 69. Now, they don't have to be the same width. Each class could be a different width, that's fine. So for example, if I had, let's say these are heights of a tree, a plant. If my plant is 5 centimeters tall, which box does it go in? First, second, third or fourth? First. 12 centimeters? Second. 9.1 centimeters?
Second.
No. First. Because 9.1 rounds down to 9. So often in the exam they ask you to convert this into class boundaries, the proper way to do it. So the first tree could start at 0, but it could be big. It could be how big? What's the maximum it could be to still fit in the first class? 9.5, not including 9.5. Anything less than 9.5. What's the smallest tree that you could have in the second?
9.6.
No. No. 9.5, because 9.5 could round up to 10. Yeah? You're doing that thing where you pretend you don't understand, but I know you understand. The last one finishes where? 19.5, and then here 19.5 to, yeah, and then this one here. These are called the class boundaries, are those numbers here. Let's get the class range. So how big is this class? 9.5. How big is this class? 10. How big is this class? 20. And how big is this class? 30. Let's get the midpoints. So what's the midpoint here?
I don't understand class range.
Upper minus lower.
Okay, yeah.
The first one would be 9.5 divided by 2. And then, no, it's not. 14.5. The middle of 9.5 and 19.5. Yeah, wakey wakey. Plus 19.5. I think it's this.
Yeah,
I just double check. Yeah. So this one here is 29.5.
The other one is 29.5.
Yes.
54.5. These are the class midpoints. Get the idea? Yeah. So, in the exam, they like asking this as a short question. They give you the grouped frequency table in this form, and you have to convert it into boundaries, and then they ask you for the range and the midpoints. The midpoints will be important for a later lesson. Actually, we'll do it later today, isn't it? Let's have a look. 4 o'clock.
Why don't take the group tour?
If you're, what room is the group tutorial in? Is there a room free at that time?
Well, now we are doing group tour.
No individual.
Individual tour, sir.
And we don't have this D217.
Huh?
Yeah, nobody.
Look, if you're free,
Yeah?
come to the office. And if I'm free, we'll try and work something out. What time is this at?
3 to 4.
3 to 4? Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
let's do it there.
No, well, only if you don't have a class.
Yeah.
I don't, no, seriously, you do this thing where you say something and it's not true sometimes, alright? So I don't want a situation where I'm talking to Connell, you know, I'm having a cup of coffee and I say, hey Connell, what's up? And he says, oh, those stupid engineers. I had an individual tutorial with them and none of them showed up. And I want to be like, oh, well, the thing is actually I kind of did a math class, you know.
No, see,
No,
we don't like
yesterday, he
Stress
said to us that if you want to see me, come tomorrow.
Are you sure about this?
Yes,
Because
his direct words was this.
you have a habit of misunderstanding sometimes.
He said it, ask everyone, then you'll be sure.
I just going to.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
There's the word if.
Come find me. Come to the office at this time.
Okay. So instead of finishing 5, finish 4.
Finish.
Four.
Four.
That's good. That's very good.